You have been doing an awesome job finding the prime factorization of different numbers. You've been able to take a number and break it down into just prime numbers that go into it or make it up. You've been doing an awesome job. We're now going to take all that you know how to do, and now we're going to look at making or finding the GCF of two numbers, or the greatest common factor. So I am looking for let's take an example. And if I say 4 and 6 are my two numbers, I'm going to ask myself, what is the GCF? What's the biggest number? So when I'm looking for the GCF, I'm looking for the biggest number that goes into, hopefully that's okay, I use that symbol for number, the biggest number that goes into two or other numbers. We can find the GCF of many more than just two numbers, but for us, for right now, that's what we're going to concentrate on. So in this case, I would ask myself, what's the biggest thing that goes into both 4 and 6? So let's find a good way to do this every single time, no matter what. What I do first is I treat this just like I've been doing everything else with prime factorization. I use that upside down division symbol that I really love. And now what you ask yourself is, what prime numbers go into both of these numbers? So we're going to use all the clues that we usually use. They're both even, so I know 2 is going to go into both of them. And just like we've been doing, how many times does 2 go into 24? 12. How many times does 2 go into 10? 5. Now what I ask myself is, what goes into both 12 and 5? The only number I know that goes into both of them is 1. And what that tells me is that 12 and 5 are relatively prime. So that means that the only number that goes into both of them is 1. That means that I'm finished. So now I am done again, which I know you all really like, that this 1 is in there. So when I'm getting to the point where the only thing that goes into both of them is 1, then I am all done for GCF. So where do I find my GCF? I find it right here in the side. I make a big G right here. Let me put in a brighter color for you here. Okay. So right there, there's my G. So my GCF is going to be 2 times 1, or 2. So that tells me that the biggest number that goes into both 10 and 24 is 2. Let's go through the same process again. Upside down division. They're both even. So what's going to go into both 40 and 16? 2. Goes in 20 times to 40, and it goes in 8 times to 16. I go again. They're both even, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use a 2. 2 goes into 20 10 times. 2 goes into 8 4 times. Again, I keep going. What number goes into both 10 and 4? 2. So I have my 2 here. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 2 goes into 4 2 times. The only number that goes into 5 and 2 is 1. What does the 1 tell me? I am done. Where do I find my answer? So this is what we want to really be careful of now. I found my answer. Here is my G. So all of those things together, so my GCF is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 times 1. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 1 is 8. So that tells me that 8 is the biggest number that goes into both 16 and 40. This question is one of the questions on the homework, number 4. So if you just want to think about that now, or you can hold it in front of you as we're going through this problem together. So GCF of 30 and 36, they're both even, so I'm going to use 2. I'm left with 15, and I'm left with 18. What number goes into both of those? 3. I'm left with 5, and 3 goes into 18 6 times. The only number that goes into both 5 and 6 is 1. When I get to 1, I am done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my nice big G here. So my GCF of 30 and 36 is 2 times 3 times 1, or 6. So 6 again is the biggest number that goes into both 36 and 30. Okay, so now one of the questions on the homework I ask you is what my favorite number is, and I'm going to tell you that my favorite number is 17. Okay, I'll see you in class tomorrow. If you have any questions, post them on Edmodo.